Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you're all doing good. Thought I'd do the intro a little different today by showing you some of the musical talent on display in the streets of London when the sun was booming on the weekend. But moving on to the poker, we are playing in Aspers. Shock, I know, but we buy in for a whopping £485, which is the highest we've ever bought in for, and go to take a seat at our table with some unfamiliar faces. And we kick things off in the big blind with ace jack. There is an early position limper. Action then folds to the button, who raises to £15. I call, limper calls, so we go three ways to a flop of 5-6-2 with 2 clubs. Checks round, turns a good one. It is the jack of spades. Our position, I just check. Now early position bets 15. Pre-flop aggressive folds, I call. River brings in any flushes with the 8 of clubs. I block bet now for 20. Early position calls, we show, and opponent shows queen jack off, and we are off to a good start in the session. Next we pick up a pretty hand in king 10 suited in the cutoff. In +2 sits a tight player who raises to 10. I call, big blind calls, so 3 ways, and the flop comes 6-4-4 rainbow. Checks through, turn is the king of diamonds. Big blind checks, now +2 makes a delayed c bet for 15. To be honest, I'm thinking we could be beat here now against this opponent, but I just call just in case he is range betting. This player's gonna have a lot of ace king, king queen. He's a very tight player, so when he bets it's a little concerning. Big blind folds, 2 ways to the river, which is the jack of diamonds. He checks to me now. I've seen this player slow play hands before, such as calling with ace king pre-flop, and therefore sense his check to be a tricky play. I check back and he shows ace king. Not sure large bets represent king jack. Ace 4 would get him to fold here, so thankfully I think we probably lost the minimum. On to the next one, where things get a little juicier now. We have ace king ourselves in the small blind. Low jack limbs, hijack raises it to 12, cut off calls, and I try thinning the field with a free bet to £45, which in retrospect I think it could have been higher, as in theory our position I need to raise 3.5x the initial raise of 12 plus the dead money, which would sum to around £60. Anyway, we still get just one caller from the cutoff. Flop comes 8 ace jack with 2 diamonds. Action is on me and I see bet for £25, which I think is a cheap price to pay to see a turn if he's holding something like Broadway cards, which should be in his range. The turn comes the 8 of hearts. Action is on me and I decide to check to be a tricky donkey and induce a bluff. Villain checks back. River is as clean as it gets now with the 2 of spades. So for now, in my mind, we are still ahead. I bet 25 again, trying to target any of his jack Broadway combos that we beat. But now Villain raises it up to 115 and sends my head into a blender. To me it seems a bit random though, and my gut tells me he could be bluffing. So I think for a bit, and I remember this player had just bluffed recently in a massive pot and surely wouldn't do that again, and for that reason I end up making a tight fold. Then Villain turns over king 10 of hearts for the bluff. I'm surprised, but well played. He got me. The main takeaway from this hand, looking back at the line I took and my bet sizing on the river, being that I was inducing a bluff all along, but then when I finally got the bluff on the river from my opponent, I for some reason did not call it despite inducing it, which is something to work on moving forward. Also important to think more about the bluff to value combo ratio in Villain's range there, I think. But yeah, we move on to picking up a premium now as I peel queens in the low jack. I open up the action with a £6 bet, hijack calls, and both blinds call. So we go 4 ways to a flop, which comes 2-2-6. Very good flop for us, a high frequency of the time here, I think. Small blind checks, but big blind bets 10, and I raise to 40, targeting any overpairs or 6 combos. Hijack and small blind get out of the way, but now big blind takes about 3 seconds before putting it all in for around £300 effective. I think for a bit, I don't have too much info on the guy. I just get out there and fold the queens, as I feel he could easily be hoping I call with an overpair, as he knows my range range is uncapped. Tough spot, but he ends up telling me he had a 2 but never showed it, so I guess we'll never know. In the final hand of session 1, we don't get a camera shot of it, but we hold ace king offsuit on the button. The £5 under the gun straddle is on, and hijack raises to £13, and then the cut off 3 bets to 45. Now the action is on me. I plan to choose aggression. In theory, it could not be a wide range for 4-bet, with the raise and 3-bet being both to our immediate right. So I 4-bet to £125, and to be honest, just hoping to take this one down pre-flop, which we do, and I think it helps that our image was on the tighter side. So wrapping up session 1, we cash out for £390, giving us an overall loss of £95. Back on the road for session 2. When we arrive, we buy in for £400 and take our seat at the table. After a standard amount of run dead, we peel ace 3 of hearts in the hijack. There is a limper out of the +1. I raise to 10, which gets called by both the big blind and the +1, sending us 3 ways to a flop of 6-2-2 rainbow. We miss, but feel we could still be winning with ace high on this board, so I c-bet for £15. Only the +1 limper calls, so we go heads up to a turn, which is the 8 of diamonds. +1 checks to me. I don't think the turn changes anything, so I barrel for 30, knowing this older gentleman is an above average type player and our range is uncapped, so he eventually folds. So we drag in a little one with a little bluff here. Okay, now in the low jack, the £5 under the gun straddle is on, and we raise to £20, which the hijack button, big blind and the straddler calls, so a whole 5 ways to a flop of 3-8 jack with 2 spades. Big blind checks, under the gun checks. Now the action's on me. I see no reason to bet here with 2 players left to act, only holding second pair, so I check, and then the hijack and the button checks. Turn is the queen of diamonds. Now that I'm grading us to third pair, checks to me again, I check again, and so do the rest. River is the 8 of hearts, and for the 3rd street in a row, it checks all the way through again.
That explains it.
Turns out 3 of us had pocket pairs, with the big blind having 9s and the hijack having 5s, which surprisingly means we scooped this one up. Nice one. In this next one, we pick up a bit of a premium when we peel aces in the small blind, undergun limps, the cutoff limps, button folds, and now it's on me. I raise to 12, which the undergun and cutoff call. So 3 ways, flop comes 7-7-8 rainbow. Being out of position, I just check, under the gun checks, but the cutoff bets 15, which I call, and we go 2 ways now to the 10 of hearts on the turn. I check, anticipating villain to continue betting, which he does for 35. Now I just hope he doesn't have a 7. I'm not folding aces here, so I call. River is the 8 of spades. Not a card I love to see. The only hands I think we beat now are lower pocket pairs or maybe 9s. Nevertheless, I'm probably not folding aces to a bet, so I lead now for 40 for protection from having to call a larger bet. The cutoff ends up just calling me before showing us the bad news when he turns over ace 7 off. Maybe a bit unlucky there, maybe not, maybe I shouldn't have led the turn. Let me know what you think about that play.
Unlucky.
Now picking up another pocket pair 3s. Being first to act in the +2, I raise to £5, gets 3 callers, so we go 4 ways. Flop comes 2 ace 10 rainbow. I c-bet £5 since ace hits my range, and I hope to take it down right now, but we don't quite succeed when the button calls. So we go heads up now to the turn, and boom, it is a 3 of diamonds. Okay, I'm just thinking how to extract the most value now. I barrel for half pot, £15, hoping he has an ace. Button calls. River is the 7 of diamonds. Bringing in the backdoor flush, but nothing we are concerned about. I go for value and bet 50, which the button calls. We announce our set though, and Villain's hand remains a mystery as he mucks. In this next one, we have one limper from the low jack, and it folds to us in the big blind with ace queen off. I raise to 10 and we go heads up to a flop of 9 queen 8 with 2 clubs. We flop well, but on a very wet board, and I'm out of position, so I elect to check. Low jack bets 20, I call. Turn is the ace of spades, nicely upgrading us to 2 pair. But I now decide to lead the turn with a donkey bet that I'm not too proud of. Villain thinks for a bit and folds and turns over the queen of hearts. Unnecessary donk bets like this is definitely a part of my game I need to work on, as that was probably a blunder, leaving value on the table, but we move and learn. We run card dead for a little while, and when we peel 7-2 suited on the button, we decide to do it for the vlog. Come on. Cut off raise to 10, I free bet to 30, but now the big blind calls and the cutoff comes along as well. So 3 ways, not what we were looking for, hoping for a miraculous flop here. It comes 4-6 queen rainbow. Okay, it is the worst hand in the game for a reason, so I couldn't have expected too much, but when it checks, I'm not going to let it go so easily. I bet 30. Hoping to take it down now, but looking back, I may as well have thrown 30 pound down the drain there with that sizing. Big blind calls, oh no, and the cutoff raises to 140, and we are out of here. We'll get him next time. Anyway, for your curiosity, this was what happened next. Big blind calls, turn is the 5 of spades. Now the big blind checks, cutoff bets 225, and the big blind goes all in for around 670, and the cutoff calls. Wow. Wow. River comes a 7. The big blind shows he hit the nuts on the turn. Unbelievable. On to the next one. Alright guys, buckle up for this one.
I've got a good hand.
We wanted to leave 30 minutes ago, but there is a good reason we didn't.
A good hand, yeah?
No, genuinely.
Okay. I've genuinely got a shit hand.
Because to our right sits a new splashy player who has frequently been going all in with his £500 stack. So when we peel ace king of spades in the low jack, we finally could be given our ticket and just hope he gets involved. It folds to us. I announce to the table I have a good hand because I'm an honest man, and bet 6. Hijack calls, then button 3 bets to 26. And then guys, the action player 4 bets to 137. I just make a controversial call being in position. Hijack folds, button folds. It's 2 ways with the splashy player. And guys, my phone stopped recording. It couldn't look. Flop comes 3, 2, ace, rainbow. The action player puts me all in. I'm 280 effective. I thank the poker gods and make the call. If I lose here, so be it. We have top pair, top kicker. Board runs out. Turn comes an ace of clubs. River comes queen of hearts. We turn over. Villain only shows his queen of spades, and we get to drag in the second biggest pot of our poker career so far. Just wow. Not too long after that crazy hand, we pick up another variant of ace king for our final hand of the session. I'm under the gun and raise to 10. The splashy player now on the button raises to 20. Surely not again. And the small blind calls. I now raise to 100, which is probs excessive, but no, gets the job done, and we wrap it up for vlog 8. But yeah, it's 2 AM. Just finished up here. We profited 357. All those growing pains from learning how to play poker. This by no means means that we are anywhere close to becoming a profitable or winning poker player. You know, this could just be purely run good, but I see improvements. Your support and comments have definitely helped. Thanks for watching guys, appreciate your support, and I'm signing out. Peace.